y'all, this is Youjo. I hope you all are having a happy spring because summer's right around the corner and it is about to get hella hot. Today's recording is going to be about why it's good to fight back and defend yourself against bullying and harassment, and why I didn't. Up to the point where I got in middle school, I did fight back against bullies, and that was during a time when you didn't have to worry about any really harsh consequences because people weren't as uptight as they are now, and there really weren't as much politics and things as there are now. Kids could fight, and you get in school suspension or out of school suspension for a few days, and you just come back, do it all over again if you want. But by the time I got to middle school, up to the point where I had dropped out, before I dropped out, things had taken a very direct turn for the worst, especially at the school I was going to, Turner Elementary Middle School, back in the early 2000s, Caddo Parish, Shreveport, Louisiana, blah blah blah, USA. Earth. I did report it, that I did do, but nothing was done about it. So, of course, seeing as how the school staff wasn't going to fulfill their obligation of keeping me safe, I left. But, well, the main reason why I didn't fight back is because after it got around that I was bi, a good 90% of my half of the middle school side of the school was against me. So I didn't have any friends that would help me fight, or at least I didn't think I did. And if I did, we weren't in the same class. And I wasn't so much afraid of other people jumping in as much as, if something happens and authority weren't there, and then authority came to break us up, they would, make me look bad because I'm going to school with a bunch of ghetto niggas. And I don't trust any of them as far as I could throw them back then or as I can do now. And I can't really throw people very far. Well, I could probably be able to pick up the short ones, but anyway, I might as well go ahead and admit it now that I'm adult. I was 3 grades behind. I failed 2nd, 5th, and 7th. 2 + 5 = 7, hey. I can't, recall. I was, I don't know, being rebellious, I don't know. But, that I wasn't, in high school like I should have been. They would have tried to pull something that I've known them to pull before, like to make a different issue out of something that is going on. Like, I'm talking about bullying and being bullied, and they're talking about how I'm not with my peers anyway, I'm not in my right grade, and the easiest thing to do would have been to expel me instead of properly taking care of the bullies. Because after they would have expelled me, which, I dropped out anyway, they would have still had their bullying problem, and I'm sure I'm not the only non-heterosexual person attending schools ever. At the time, there were a few other out people, but I think they were pretty much just went along with it. I knew a boy that was very flamboyant and out, and I think he pretty much got picked on by the other boys, so he hung out with the girls, and the girls pretty much accepted him. Same for me, actually. I was a girl, the girls shunned me, I hung out with the guys, they didn't care. I say a lot. But it was just, I can say that in my experiences of the time that I did fight back against bullies, before that time period, things did turn out better. We got into the fight, that was pretty much it, and then after that, I actually made friends with some of the people I fought with. Even, win or lose, I don't think I ever won, but the fact that I fought back meant something, because I didn't have to worry about fighting that particular person anymore, and the other kids just laid off. So I do suggest fighting back and defending yourself. Even if you don't win, even if you don't win and you're sure that it was, a 1-on-1 or maybe a 2-on-2, some equal odds, people will see, hey, you fought, you stood for yourself. Yeah, you may have lost, but you still fought. And then there are some dumbasses that'll think that because you lost, you can't beat them. Of course, you gotta harness the skill to prove them wrong, or just fight them anyway. Even if you lose, you don't have to worry about them anymore. And just because you lost doesn't mean you didn't deal any damage. I still dealt my share of damage. It's not like, I went down and they were still able to like stand over me and kick me or anything. That wasn't the case. But I see after that kid in Indiana got expelled for bringing a self-defense device, I see that the new lengths that some parents are starting to take in defending their children because the schools obviously won't. And I'm sure he got expelled and suffered such a harsh consequence even though he didn't use the device. More specifically, his mom gave him a taser to take to school to scare the bullies away. Now, he had an old school taser that does the electricity and the loud clicking noise that will get anyone's attention, and that will initially scare the shit out of anyone because nobody wants to be hit by a bitch like that. And they expelled him. Now, you may not be able to trust every teenager with a taser like that, like the initial purpose was meant to be for that one. And I will say that I definitely applaud his mother for taking her own measures, even though the outcome was far from expected. And kid probably, he's probably better off, seeing as how he can just go get his GED now, because his school system was obviously as inefficient as mine. And I just think that more parents and teens and children of whatever age, whatever class, should be willing to defend themselves. And I will say this, under the circumstances, no matter what it takes. The only way to scare bullies off is to show them that you are not afraid of them. And since bullies are too stupid to understand verbal communication, you're just going to have to bring a weapon and show them that no matter what it takes, you're going down. I'm not going down, you are. And, well, that's pretty much it. Well, my and would be, I'm so unrefined. I wish everyone the best of luck. I really hope that people will open their eyes and realize that there's no need for us to be this way to each other. And if you are going to be that way to someone, expect there to be consequences. You're not just going to walk up to somebody and think you can push them around and them not have no means of retaliation. Some people just don't realize you never know who you're fucking with. Like a girl I heard of that got grabbed at a concert by a judge. She turned around and like kicked that dude's ass. And then he she got put in jail because he's a judge, but she didn't serve that much time. But it was pretty much her word against his thing. He's already a judge, and they're in trial in front of a judge. Pretty much fucked up system going on there. But it's like you never know who you're messing with. You could always be jumping on the wrong person. There are things that aside from that, I know that's not the best example, but I mean, just things like that. If he wasn't a judge, if he was just some average guy grabbing on some girl, and he would just straight up just got his ass kicked. You never know. I mean, you could try to run up on somebody who has no quims with lighting a match and setting your ass on fire. You really don't. And people need to think about that before they act. And then, not even thinking about violent circumstances, just think about, how would you feel if somebody was treating you that way? Or maybe you have somebody in your life that does treat you that way. Does that make you feel good? If it doesn't, then why would you want to inflict that on someone else? And that's all. I'll talk to you later. Bye.